you wake up before you go.
I will.
Yeah,
Yeah.
sure.
We're in your home, we're in your head. Lock the doors and close the blinds. Turn on your TV, turn off your mind.
Hi, everyone.
Hi!
We are Soul of a Gamer.
Soul of a Gamer.
I'm Scott Nell,
And I'm Stephen McGee.
and we're here every week to play a game and tell you about it, kind of.
Took over my lines.
Yeah, whatever. Doesn't matter who says what.
No, it really
We also
does.
fuck chickens, apparently. Is that your line?
Yeah, that was exactly my line. You took that line from me too. So yes, we spent a week playing a video game and we give you our best reviews. We tell you what challenges we had, what challenges we gave ourselves, and anything like that.
Yeah.
Please like, subscribe to us, and follow us. We're on everything.
You're sounding really desperate.
I am desperate.
Extremely desperate.
I want some
I
viewers.
want you.
I want some people to see this.
So, yeah, last week's game we played was Diablo 3.
Yes.
And that one was a lot of fun. And this week's game was fun and frustrating all at the same time. So we're going to get into it. This week's game is...
Billy Hatcher, as you can see above us.
Yes, so Billy Hatcher and the Giant Egg. Surprise, surprise, the Giant Egg's bullshit. So I've got the back of the box here on my phone, and I would like to share with you the back of the box.
We haven't done a back of the box in a while, so we
I
probably
know,
should.
this is a pretty good one. Wake up to a new breed of superhero. Billy Hatcher must use the powers of a legendary suit to conquer an evil king who seeks to rule with an everlasting night? Okay. Slightly mischievous, yet always cool, only Billy can return the light to the land. So, at that point, does it tell you at all that you're in a fucking chicken suit?
No, it just says legendary
yeah,
suit,
you're
which
like-
in the game it even says legendary chicken suit.
Yeah, you're like it's trying its best not to be like, all right, how do we tell people this is a cool game without sounding like a complete fucking moron?
Yeah, because the chicken suit is not very appealing.
Yeah, and I love they play as the bold hero, Billy Hatcher. Use awesome and unique egg attacks to defeat enemies and solve puzzles. Explore a vast 3D world to uncover secrets and find hidden items. Battle with up to 4 players in split-screen action. And that was actually fun. I did that as a kid. I know you didn't get to experience that, but it's actually a lot of fun to play in the battle mode.
See, I wouldn't mind the battle mode. I think that would be kind of fun, just
Yeah.
because this game pulled from so many other games, just like we said for like Banjo-Kazooie.
This is a carbon copy. If you ever played any of the Sonic DX games from the original GameCube and like the Dreamcast and all that, like when they went into Sonic 3D, this is a carbon copy of that with a different skin. That's what this is. Literally, they tried their best and they did not do it.
Yeah, because it's kind of like got some aspects of Donkey Kong in it. It's got some aspects of Me and My Katamari.
Yeah. It's got a lot. So this game, your whole point in this game is to hatch, and you don't even have to hatch them, actually. It's really just to roll eggs around.
Yes.
Really, because you could go through this entire game with only hatching like 5 eggs, because you have to hatch some to get through certain parts.
Yeah.
But otherwise, you don't have to hatch that many eggs.
You have to hatch the egg to get the fire creature one time, the ice creature one time, and the wind creature one time.
And the light creature. So that's at the end of the game. So it's really, and it's stupid at the end of it. So we'll get into that. But so the beginning of this, you're like in a cutscene and you're, for some reason, walking with your friends and the crows come.
Yep.
And crows are evil.
And crows start attacking this little chick.
And crows also turn into other creatures, which doesn't make any sense.
Only when they're grouped together.
Yeah, somehow they group together and they turn into giant cats and dinosaurs.
It's kind of like how Dracula in a lot of like animated like Hotel Transylvania, how he transforms and turns into a bunch of little bats, or he turns into like one bat.
Yeah.
Not a Hotel Transylvania, but in a lot of like movies where Dracula transforms, he turns into a flutter of bats. It's that way for crows, but with every single enemy you face.
Unless it's like even the small enemies turn into like
all
a
the
couple.
small ones. Yeah, they turn into like 4 or 5.
So yeah, you are sent to Chicken Land.
Morning Land.
Chicken Land, and in Chicken Land you have to save chickens. Now, I will say there are male chickens.
Yes.
No. No. Just no. Just absolutely not. That's bullshit. So I don't know who wrote this game, but obviously they had no concept of what a rooster is. So you get into the land of the chicken, And instantly he's like, "Go find the legendary suit. It's hidden somewhere."
Oh god, it's like right
It's
there.
right there in front of you. It's like, "Oh shit, we've been searching for it for 27 years.
Seriously,
How
so
did you
dumb.
find it so easily?"
So dumb.
And all you just jump on a platform and you're right there, and it's an egg. It's just
Yep.
an egg, and you go up to it and you get a chicken suit.
Yep.
Now it doesn't explain either, because you unlock other characters later in the game
Mm.
how they got their chicken suits.
Oh, okay.
Because it's literally like you unlock, and the character's name is so. It's Billy Hatcher, Roly Roll, Bantam Scrambler, and then the
Okay.
worst one, Chick Poacher. Now I get it. You can poach eggs. I get it. Like, I get the concept. It's still a fucking terrible name. Chick poach. It sounds like he's poaching chicks.
Yeah.
Right. It sounds like he's going and killing chickens or selling them on the market, whatever
Black
market.
market?
Well,
Or just
I don't think
the
a black market cares about fucking chickens. So I'm
Probably
like,
not.
some kind of market.
Well, maybe these kinds of things.
You usually poach rhinos and shit because the black market cares about that. But fucking chickens? But yeah, chick poacher. And again, you can eat eggs poached, but it's fucking stupid. It's such a dumb name. But I love the voices for the names. Because I love the end. At every end of a level, they say, "Good morning." And I
With
thought
the
that was
little
funny.
thumb. Good morning.
Yeah, and I thought that was funny. And the chick poacher had the best voice actor.
See, I only ever played as Billy Hatcher.
Oh, you
I
can
didn't
play
know
as.
you could play as
So
other
if you go
characters.
back to the original after you save them, do you? You probably
Oh.
didn't go past that. So you can do in this game. It's weird. You can beat the game in a few hours just by doing the first 2 missions of each level, and then
Yes.
you don't have to do any other missions.
Yes.
All the other missions are extra. But in the 4th mission of each level, you save one of your friends, and then after you save them, it unlocks a mission to play as them.
Okay.
And each one has 1 mission in each level, so you have a total of 8 missions in each level.
Okay.
And their missions, they're all just carbon copies. So each mission in every single level is a carbon copy of the last level.
Okay.
It's really stupid. So in every level, you have to race something, save 8 chickens. So you have to like go around the entire level and find 8 chickens with no direction.
That sucks.
Yeah, it was really obnoxious. I hated
bet.
those missions. You had to get 40 coins.
Okay.
So in 2 minutes,
Oh,
you
jeez.
had to go down slopes.
Hate
So
those.
like, it's just they carbon copied the same thing on each world,
Okay.
and they did that 8 times, and it wasn't fun.
Hmm.
Oh, defeat 100 crows. That's another one. That one was easy. You just literally go defeat crows.
See, that's almost reminiscent of Mario 64 because they had that same like 5 things you had to do on each
Yeah.
level to get the 5 stars
Yeah,
on each level.
Exactly.
On
so,
each
because they
world.
couldn't back in the day. Those games couldn't be that big.
Yeah.
A gigabyte at most. I think this game's less than a gigabyte.
Yeah, I think it was about.
It's 800, I
800
think.
megabytes,
Yeah,
yeah.
so they did not put a lot into it. And yeah, so you go, and your goal in this game is to hatch golden eggs, which are the roosters.
Yes, so there's 6 elder chickens that have roosters in them.
Okay, but,
And-
oh no, 5 have roosters. One's a female. One is actually
Yes,
a chicken.
okay, yeah, you're
One
right.
is of chicken. One made
But
it.
it's still crows.
Yes. So
So yes, you have to save all them, and then once you save all them, you have to find the giant egg, and then you have to stop the Dark Lord Crow from using the giant egg to get a wish.
yeah, which maybe he wanted just new sandals.
We don't know what he
We
wanted to
don't
wish
know.
for.
Yeah, nobody knows what he wanted to wish for. So I don't know why we're trying to stop him. Yeah, it's weird too because they don't explain in the story. Like I had thought that the guy in the first mission who flies over and summons people, that was the bad guy.
Mm,
I thought that was the main bad guy,
okay.
but it's not.
No.
No, that is his minion.
Yeah.
And they don't even explain that there's another guy on top of that.
Yeah.
So the big thing,
Yeah, they
like,
don't at all, which was so
Yeah.
weird. You get to the final boss and you're like, "Who are you?"
yeah. So you defeat this like minion guy who, and it gives you a warning right before you fight him. It's really stupid. It says like, "Oh, warning! This guy is kind of tough. Don't fuck with him." And then you go in and it's like that guy was not. One try. All the bosses were one try for me except for the last one. It's just because I got stuck on mechanics.
Hmm,
But
okay.
yeah, during the entire game, it does this thing in the beginning, which is really cool. It gives you like, okay, here's this thing. This is how you use this. Here's this thing. This is how you use this thing. By the end of the game, it's introducing new mechanics and not explaining how to do it.
No, seriously. Like there's a mechanic to like do this jump, like this double jump with the egg, or like the high bounce with the egg.
Yeah.
And it never said in the game, I don't think anywhere, how to do that.
What do you mean a high bounce?
Like when you, so it's weird because one of the tricks you talk to, it says if you press A and then press A again in the air, you'll do the slam.
Yeah,
down with
the
A.
slam.
And then I saw something else that said if you press A and press A in the air, you do like a bounce thing, and I never could,
Oh yeah, you do both. So
Yeah,
you have
but I
to
was
press
like-
A and hold A for the slam, press A and press A for the bounce.
no matter what I did, every time I pressed A, like I had to do the bounce, I had to like mash A.
Oh, interesting.
It was
No, I didn't
weird.
have to
It
do
wouldn't
that.
work for me at all.
Oh, mine was easy. Yeah, that wasn't too bad for me. But yeah, some of them you kind of reach for that, but they did explain that in the first level, actually.
You have to talk to all the chicks. They don't explain that until you talk to the
So
chicks.
they actually, kind of, they tell you like, hey, you can reach this by doing that in the thing because you couldn't get up to the certain ledge unless you bounced.
See, I think
it's
I
in
got
the first level.
I think I got out of. I didn't do it at all in the first level.
Oh, that's weird.
I think I found a way to go around it somehow.
I
Because
mean-
I literally didn't ever hear that at all through my
Yeah.
gameplay, and I was like, "How do you do this?" I actually had to stop and look it up because
Yeah.
I was like, "There's no way to get above this ledge." Because I think I was like on the second or third level, and I was like, "I can't do this." Like,
I will tell you, it was really obnoxious getting on ledges because it doesn't explain like you're only getting a little bit higher than the ledge.
yeah,
But it doesn't explain like if you roll onto the ledge by pressing the right
yeah.
trigger, then you'll just get on it to it automatically. It doesn't tell you that. It just says jump on the ledge, and then you
Well-
try, and then you get your egg up there, and you fall down. You're like, what in the actual fuck?
in one of my I actually recorded this game for my channel, so I'll be posting that this week as well with this. So if you guys are wanting to watch gameplay of it, you can see it there. But I actually have in one of my videos 4 different times I tried bouncing onto a ledge, got the egg up there, but I fell off, and then I got a new egg. Did it again, did it again, did it
Yeah.
again. I was like, why can't I get up there?
So if you hit
It's so
the right
dumb.
trigger button, it'll just roll you right on up there. at
Which
the-
that was a
the
mechanic I don't think it
pinnacle.
ever told you.
No, it did not.
the
That-
rolling thing, which is super helpful for a couple of the levels, especially when I'll
Well,
talk
it
about
does.
later.
It does tell you. It does tell you in World 6. Okay, so it does tell you about rolling and far jumping
After you need it.
in World 6. So yeah, it really, this game, they did have a strong beginning. So that we're not going to talk too much about story because this game really has no story. It is literally just
Yeah.
play the first 2 missions of each world, save a chicken elder and defeat a boss, and then move on to the next world. Do the same thing over and over again. And the only difference is in the last world, you just defeat the boss. You don't save a chicken elder.
Yeah.
And your whole point is to try to stop the crows from gaining this wish. And it's bullshit and it doesn't make any sense. But most of this game is mechanic based. So all the extra stuff you do, you save 8 chickens, you race people, you do that. You don't need to do that to beat the game. And that's a completionist thing, and there's no achievements for the GameCube, so you really don't care about it.
Yeah. Which I gotta say, I only stuck with the first 2 missions
Yeah.
because I knew the rest was
I
just
played
extra.
the rest to see if they were fun, and some of them were. The racing ones were so easy. They were literally 40-second missions.
Yeah.
Like, some of those missions took me 40 seconds, and some of them took me 25 minutes. So
Okay.
it was insanely, not equal.
I actually didn't even finish this game because this game is bullshit at the end.
last, we'll talk about this in a little bit, but yeah, this game... In the beginning, I thought it was so good.
Oh,
'Cause
no,
I'm
at the
"Man,
beginning,
it's kind of fun. You get to hatch these eggs.
It's a really interesting concept.
Yeah.
And it's a really the egg mechanics in this game are interesting as hell. So
Yeah.
it's kind of like the Katamari where you're rolling around something and you can squish things with the egg.
Yeah, so you find a monster and you fucking smash it with the. You go, hey bitch, bam, 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 and it releases its fruit, which I assume is a simile, not a simile, a metaphor for its
Yeah, I-
innards.
Yeah, I don't know what that was.
Yeah.
So you defeat an enemy, which a lot of times it was just like these weird circular creatures.
They
that
either
were kind of
bounce
fat.
or just walk around, and some of them have powers.
They don't do anything.
Yeah, they're
I
all
don't-
just collections of crows.
Yeah, so you squish it and a bunch of crows come out of it, and then a fruit inside of a little ball pops up, and then you have to roll over that fruit with your egg
Yeah,
to absorb that fruit into the egg to feed the egg. And if you
Yeah.
feed the egg enough, then you can do a rooster call that you can do with your legendary chicken suit. Yeah, Cook-a-doodle-doo.
yeah, that's funny. I like that.
And it hatches the egg, and on normal eggs you can a lot of times you'll get nothing in the egg, or you'll get random power-ups for your chicken suit.
No. So the normal eggs are all nothing. There are power up eggs, normal eggs, monster eggs.
Oh, I thought the normal eggs were also the power up eggs, and
Nope.
it just was random.
No, they were different. So the normal eggs you just get as things to push
so
along
the blue,
story.
green, and red one.
Yeah. So and then there's the power up eggs, which give you either double jump. It gives you faster egg hatch. It gives you metal eggs, so they're harder to break. Cold eggs, so they defeat enemies faster. Like, it's really stupid. But then those power ups are basically worthless. The only one you really need is the one where you have to jump on top of the egg. Did you ever do that? I don't know if that happened in the first two missions. No. Okay, so this is an extra thing. You get like a purple hat that lets you jump on top of the egg and like travel across water.
Interesting.
Yeah, so you can actually like get in water. Otherwise, you die when you get in water.
So yeah, the game doesn't at all tell you which eggs hatch into what. You have to find that out yourself.
You pretty much know that the basic eggs are basic. So those are the only ones you know about. Everything else you kind of have to hatch and see what it is and see if you like it.
And then you can also hatch animal creatures.
Yeah.
Which the animal creatures are actually kind of cool.
They are. It's like Pokemon.
Yeah, pretty much.
It's
the water one
Pokemon.
looks like Piplup.
It does. It does.
It's totally Piplup.
Way before Piplup came out. Too.
Yes.
This came out in 2003. So I think that game came out in like 2011.
I don't
somewhat
remember.
time early 2010s. But yeah, this little penguin guy looks just like Piplup.
Yep.
And he's a water penguin too.
Yeah.
So it's like exactly the same fucking, and they just stole that from
Pretty
Sega.
much.
And Sega should have fucking sued.
And then there's an eagle that does like low flying attacks. It has like a
wind
ninja
power.
leopard. It has
yeah.
a leopard pelican thing that's ugly as shit.
And a fire monster.
It's like a griffin hippo.
Yeah, and it flies. And then the light one, it's like a seagull-ish. And it's faster than the speed of light.
Oh, yeah, I do remember that.
It does not look like it's faster than the speed of light.
Yeah, I do remember that one.
It attacks using light attacks, and it's super duper fast. And you're like, it's not either of those things. It just blew up something, but I don't know if that's light.
Which each of the animals, you got 5 attacks with the animals?
Yeah, 5 or 6. And then you mostly use those on big bosses, but you don't even need them. Literally, you can roll over everything. If you have a big enough egg, the bigger your egg is, the more damage you'll do.
Yes. And then you can also sprint with your egg, which makes the egg do more damage and hit harder. You can also slam with the egg, so you can jump above and slam them down.
You can throw the egg while you're in the air, and it'll create like a little tiny shockwave, not a big one.
Then you can also throw the egg like a Beyblade.
Yeah.
like toward
or like
at them.
Almost like a boomerang.
Yeah,
it'll
where
come
it goes
back
out
to you.
and comes back.
I don't remember what the term is, but you roll it in a way that it rolls forward and then rolls backwards.
Yeah,
I don't
with
remember
backspin.
It's a backspin term, but I don't remember. It's a scientific term that actually does that. But yeah, you can, and the animals are cool. You also have Sonic eggs, so this is a Sega game.
See, I didn't know how to open the Sonic egg.
You
I
can
saw
only
one.
do this so this is extra stuff. You have to get a certain amount of coins.
Oh.
So each level has 5 secret coins hidden throughout the level, and they're really easy to find. I found all the coins in the first 5 levels. It was really simple. You just had to go back in and kind of explore.
Yeah.
The chicken ones were the hardest ones because they opened the entire map up for you, but usually the levels each had a restricted part of the map you had to stay. So you had to find 5 coins, and at certain intervals for each world, if you collected like 10 coins or 15 coins, the first world Sonic eggs open, 25 is the second world, 35 is the fourth world, and on and on and on. So you could open the Sonic eggs eventually. If you get all the coins, you can open them in the final.
Okay.
But I mean, they're literally the same. Like, there's nothing more powerful about them. I think I opened like 5, and I had Sonic, I had Knuckles, I had a Chow, I had a thing I didn't recognize as like a little monster kind of thing from DX, I'm pretty sure, from the Chow Garden. And then I had Tails, and that was it.
And are they just basically like the pets where
they just
throw them and
Sonic's power is literally the most worthless because he just runs around really fast without hitting anything.
Oh, jeez.
So unless you get lucky and he hits something, and then I think at the end he explodes, if I remember right. Like, they're not great powers. The Chow just copied, when I had the Chow, it copied the Piplup power.
Oh, okay.
And that's going to be forever known as Piplup.
Yes, it's Piplup.
So it copied,
I call it Piplup at all in my videos.
It copied the Piplup power, and that's it. So I think the Chow just randomly copies a power, but I only opened it once, so I don't know. It could just be literally the Piplup.
Okay.
But yeah, the Sonic eggs were worthless. If you want to do extra stuff in this game, you go for the coins, but it's really not. Like, honestly, I got so bored doing this because it's so tedious to do it, and then you don't get a lot of reward out of it.
Well, and this game is tedious to play. It is so platform based
Yeah.
with egg mechanics that just it don't mesh very well sometimes. There's some times with this game that just is so difficult. And the thing that sucks about this game is this has like barely any checkpoints throughout the level design.
Oh, yeah. So if you die, but I mean, I died. The first time I died was in the 5th.
Good for you.
So,
I died
like,
a lot. Like
Yeah.
I couldn't tell you how many times I had to restart. And when you lose all 5 of your lives, it doesn't say continue and start here. You get booted back to the main menu, and you have to do everything.
So the first thing I did is you can complete the first level in like 2 minutes. So I did that over and over, or I did the 40-second races
Okay.
because you can just farm lives. Each time you complete it, you get a life.
What, you can get lives in this game?
Yeah. So if you
What
complete,
the fuck?
every time you complete a level, you get a life. So what I would do is
I never got a life.
You did. You probably died and then thought you didn't get a life or something. Or you played a level and then you quit out, because if you quit out, you lose all the lives you got. But if you're going to play for a little while, you might as well just farm a bunch of lives, because a lot of these levels take...
I didn't know that.
Yeah. So I ended up farming a bunch of lives, especially for the circus level, because I died a lot on them. But like as soon as I started doing that, I was like, okay, this is smart. I should just do this. But then you do a level for an hour and you lose like 20 lives, and you're like, okay, I don't know what to do. So yeah.
Seriously, this
And let's talk about the worlds, I guess.
Yes.
The first world's like a forest world-ish.
believe so.
It's weird. So it's like a forest world, but there's a lot of buildings. So it's like almost like Chicken Town. And then Pirate World.
Yes.
And then
Blizzard? No.
no, there's one in between. There is an ice
Is it
world.
the desert?
No, desert's after.
Oh yeah, because that's the temple.
Yeah. So the bosses were the weird hiding dude who gets smaller, the whale.
The walrus.
Yeah, the walrus was the
God,
ice.
The walrus I had. trouble with.
Dino World.
Dino World,
That's
yeah,
the
that's
third
right.
world. So the dinosaur. The fourth world's the ice world. Fifth world's
Is the circus parade.
Is it the circus?
Yes.
Yeah. And then the
Because
desert
the sixth
world.
one is the desert
and
temple.
then the seventh one is Eggtopia.
Oh, okay.
So it's just like in the sky. It's floating in the sky, and I'm calling it.
Okay, yeah.
So yeah, you have 7 worlds, each one themed very poorly. Why the fuck is there Forest World, Pirate World?
I don't know. It's so random too, and there's not like a lot of things that deal with that stuff in it. Like the Dino World had just like some like dragon skulls, or not even dragon skulls, but like
The dinosaur
dinosaur
skulls.
skull, like just breathing
Shooting
fire.
magma. And
And
you're
like
like,
shooting magma, and
you're
you're
like,
like,
what is going on here?
What is this? Like that's all it was.
The
Like,
crows did it.
Yeah, and everything in that was just crows again.
Yeah.
And there was some like dinosaur like minions and stuff, but a lot of the minions didn't even seem like they like. There wasn't a lot of like variety to them.
No, they were all just carbon copies with different skins.
Yeah.
They don't do much different things. The bosses are really easy. So the first one you fight is this like fucking. It gets smaller. I don't even know what to call it. It looks like a fucking chameleon, kind of.
Yeah.
Or it's like a mix between a chameleon and a fucking kangaroo.
Oh, is this the one in the tall grass? where he
Yeah.
gets
So
small-
this one's really easy. It shoots water out of its mouth, which I assume is spit. Then you have to go in with an egg and you like kill the grass, and he'll go and like tail whip you, and then like shoot out a little beam with his tail whip, and you'll easily dodge it. And then he'll get small, and you have to find him in the grass. And then you just hit him a couple times with the egg, and then he gets big again, and he gets small again, hit him a couple times. Like, I literally, this level I S-classed, and it took me like 52 seconds to beat.
I think I got a C on it my first time.
Yeah. It's just these levels, the bosses were so easy. The only ones I had trouble with, some of the bosses are cool. The monkey boss, have you got to the monkey boss?
The monkey boss is
The circus
really
one.
easy, but I didn't actually get to it.
So
But
the monkey boss was cool because he had these, like, you had the
mirrors.
Yeah, the mirrors. Like, you had to go, he walks around inside the mirrors, and you have to break the one he's walking in. I thought that was sweet. I'm like, whoever made this one should have made the entire fucking game.
Yeah, but then the whole rest of the fight, he's just throwing balls around, and if you
I
stay
know.
behind him, you don't get hit at all.
It's so weird. Like, it's completely mechanic based, and you can cheese every boss.
Yeah.
The whale boss.
The walrus one is probably the hardest one.
You think so?
Oh, by far.
I don't remember having trouble with any boss besides the last one.
Um,
I don't remember the walrus.
What?
I know he shot ice. I think he shot balls of ice that didn't do anything though, because you could break
they
them.
did a lot of damage.
Oh, you could break them. I broke
Well,
them.
yeah, they could if you hit him with the egg, but
Yeah,
if they
yeah.
hit you,
Yeah,
which he would shoot out like 8
5
balls.
Yeah, but then you break 3, and none of them hit you anymore.
They would all keep
Oh.
bouncing around the
He
map.
must have gotten unlucky RNG because none of them ever hit me. I
'Cause-
killed him in one try.
yeah, no, I struggled with him quite a bit. I had to
He
keep
was
coming
one.
back to him.
He's one that you have to throw the egg at because you can't go up and hit him because otherwise you'll take damage. So
Well, and I,
you figure that out fairly quickly in the first part of that.
I guess I never threw eggs at any of the bosses.
Some of them you have to, like the whale one I had to, and that one I had, because if you get too close to them, you get damaged. Some of them don't damage you getting too close.
None of as long as they were like on the ground, you could hit them with the egg.
But
no
once they
matter
got
what.
up,
Yeah, they would hit
most
you.
of them wouldn't hit you. Only those two would.
Okay.
So those are the only twos that you had to actually throw the egg at, and you do more damage when you throw it at them.
Hmm.
So
Okay, well maybe I was just playing this game wrong.
Maybe.
But, like I even watched the playthrough I watched. The guy said he hated that boss too,
Yeah.
and his videos, most of his videos were only like 7 minutes because a lot of these
Yeah.
levels are really short
Yeah,
if you know what you're
super
doing.
easy.
But like he would be like, "Man, I've been fighting this boss for an hour and a half. I've been recording," and then he edited his videos down to like 7 minutes.
I think he's really bad. Problem.
Well, I'm just as bad because I struggled the same ways he struggled. Like
Yeah.
literally, I when we get to the circles, I'll go over
Yeah,
that
the
stuff.
circus
But
is
like,
the worst.
so much of the stuff that I had problems with, and I recorded, I watched his playthrough, and he had the exact same problems
Yeah.
in the exact same areas, and I was just like, okay, it's not me. It's not just me.
No, it's not
I'm-
just
I'm
you.
not
This
just-
game is really mechanic based. So if you're used to doing things in a certain way and then it completely changes it up in the next level and you still do it in that certain way, like you really have to change your playthrough style as you go through the game.
which is
Which is
weird.
what I figured out in the third world, I think, is when that starts becoming really apparent. And by the fifth world, it's like every level you have to do something different. Super obnoxious. Introducing, like, there's these rings you use to. Some rings, blue rings, you go in with an egg and it travels you around. Green rings, you just use to jump higher.
Yeah.
And then these stupid fucking pink rings, you jump in them and they spin in a full fucking circle.
I hate those ones. And
And-
then the light blue ones are pendulum swing.
Yeah, it's so stupid. Then, and they introduce
and then the
these-
yellow ones spin in a circle, but not like a spindle.
Yeah,
it's like a
you-
Donkey Kong barrel.
Yeah, it's really stupid. And introducing all these rings late in the game when you have no idea, it's like, what does this ring do? And you have to figure it out. And it makes you like, this is where I started dying a lot because I started just being like, let's see if I can do this quickly. And I get in, bam,
Yeah.
and then you can't do that. You
Nope.
have to give it a second.
You have to be pretty patient with
Yeah.
it. It's not a game that you can just like just speed through because you
Yeah.
know how to do it. It's so annoying.
So the rings are annoying, and then the bosses, like the only one I really had trouble was with the last one and the Dino boss, because the Dino boss was a little annoying. He's just throwing magma at everything and it turns into rocks, and it's guaranteed to hit you.
Yeah,
It's
that one was
almost every
annoying.
time, but I mean, still one try.
I did that
doesn't-
one in one try. Still,
Yeah,
too.
it's not
It was
too hard,
annoying,
it's just
but
annoying.
he was really easy to defeat.
Yeah,
It was just you had to get hit.
Yeah.
and you just tried not to get hit so much when you threw the magma rocks.
yeah.
But
And
yeah,
you have like 5 chicken health in this, which I don't know. It doesn't ever explain because certain things will do like half a chicken health of damage, and certain things will do a whole chicken health of damage. And there's no way to know how much chicken health you've actually have or damage you've taken.
well, and all the eggs except for the elder eggs can only get hit once, which
Yeah.
is annoying as hell
Yep.
because you have to, and those are the eggs that you have to feed the most
Yep.
fruit to as well. So once you find the elder, you have to go through all the level to find the elder. Once
Yeah.
you find the elder, then you have to go through more of the level to
Hatch
be
it.
able to hatch the elder.
And then,
And-
if you didn't make it all the way beyond the level by the time you hatched it, the courage thing is usually at the end of the level.
Yes,
that
which
you have
is
to pick up.
also annoying because there's a lot of times on the levels, like I would like in the area that led up to it, I'd save all of the fruit and I'd
Yeah,
go back through and I'd hatch the egg probably like halfway through the level,
And
and
then
then
you'd
it'd be
have
at
to
the
go-
end,
yeah.
and like if you died, it would start you over at the beginning of
Yeah.
the level again. You're like, why?
yeah. So in this, there's these emblems of courage you have to get.
Which is just a rooster.
Yeah, it's
Cowl or
and,
whatever it's
and it's
called.
just the final thing you do in every level is you go grab the emblem of courage. And instead of like just giving it to you, the game decided to fucking make you go get it. Like, in which I hate that.
annoying.
Yeah, it's unnecessary.
It
It's
really
literally
is.
unnecessary. It doesn't. There's nothing you do in between the time that you do the last thing and you get the emblem that's important enough for you to justify doing.
And they could literally make it spawn with the elder.
Yeah,
like
or they could just give it to you.
yeah,
Like
seriously.
literally, just give it. Why do you have to make? You have to waste seconds to go get this thing, or sometimes minutes, because it's not always in a reachable spot. and doesn't show you clearly where it is in some levels in the dino one.
Oh,
I
gosh.
searched forever for one of them because I'm like, where the fuck did this thing spawn? Because I went through the entire level and then it spawns behind you, so you have to
Yep.
backtrack to go get it.
I had the same problem
Yeah,
with that one because
it's-
I was like, I went through the entire level and I was like, okay, where is it? I've gone
Yeah.
through the entire level and it spawned where I would have already been.
Yeah.
And so I had to go back to the beginning of the level and track back through the entire level and
Yeah.
hope not to die, because if you die, you have to do it all
At the
over
dino
again.
level, it's really likely you'll probably die because
Yeah.
there is a lot of things like there's fire things shooting up from the ground and from the walls. There's enemies that rush towards you in that one. Like, it's really annoying to have to go search for this thing when you've already accomplished what you needed to accomplish in the level.
And the other thing too with the eggs, so yeah, the elder egg is just one hit. Most of the other eggs are 3 hits, except for when they get hit really hard.
Yeah, and you
And-
don't know what constitutes really hard.
Exactly.
You have no idea what really hard
So you'll get
means.
an egg like almost all the way full, and you really need this egg full.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden something will just hit it and it'll just pop it. Never been damaged, and you're like, how?
Yeah.
And then you'll have a tiny egg and be pushing it, and it gets hit 3 times and it's still fine. You're like,
Yeah.
I don't get this.
Yeah, it's really annoying. So the mechanics in this game, I would give an F for sure. Like, there's a lot of bad mechanics.
Yeah.
Let's talk about the circus world. The circus world, I guess,
Circus
I
World.
think what Sega does with its games is it does this really cool idea. It starts its game off really good, and then it gets impatient and rushes production, and then by the end of the game, it's like barely legible as a game anymore.
Yeah.
So at the end of the game in the circus world, it was way fucking broken.
Oh, seriously.
So this is where they first introduced pendulums, which is really super annoying. To introduce an entirely new concept already in the beginning of this fucking level. The first level is you have to go find the golden egg and hatch it. And it's not too tough, only the pendulums are stupid. So in the first part, you're doing the pendulums.
Yeah, I couldn't even hatch the egg in this world.
Yeah, this one took me an hour and a half of me just screaming at the game because I was so mad. Because I'm just sitting there and this... So I don't know if this happened to you. I know that thing happened with the rails, but stupid shit would happen.
Oh, yeah.
So you grab the golden egg and it's like, be careful, this is a really narrow path. And I'm like,
Yep.
okay, well, how bad could it be? And it's not that bad.
No.
And you're like, okay, that's not terrible. And I would be standing there and I'd be like, all right, so I have to break this thing and then stop really fast. And yeah, I'd break the wall to get through the door, and I'd stop, and the egg would just
roll off?
Yeah, roll off the edge. From a full stop, it would just randomly roll off the edge.
Before you even get to that gate that you broke right there,
Yeah.
a lot of times, like, so there's these buttons that you have to do the egg slam down
Yeah.
on. And you would do the egg slam down on this, like, narrow pathway, and a lot of times, Billy Hatcher would just let go of the egg, and it would just roll off.
This never happens anywhere else in the game.
Ever.
It stop. Normally, when you do this, you jump down and you just stop, and the egg stops moving with you.
Yeah.
So for some reason, every time you stop, the egg would roll off the
Which
wouldn't be a big deal if there wasn't a fucking edge there.
And if you didn't have to restart the level if
Yeah.
you broke the egg.
Yeah, so you lose a life every time the egg breaks. So then in this part, in this narrow path, there's also these rails. So sometimes you have to roll on a rail with the egg, and sometimes you have to just roll the egg on a rail and go to the destination you need to get to. So in this one, you have to roll the egg on a rail and then walk to the next part of it to catch it before it goes off the edge, which is fine. That's whatever. If you
Which,
don't,
yeah,
if you catch
the
it,
one other time you had to do that, I think on this, like I think it might have been the Dino World.
yeah,
Works perfectly.
perfectly.
Never had any issues whatsoever. But this fucking
Oh, yeah.
railing,
And this is something everybody complains about.
it is
apparently.
bugged as fuck.
Yeah.
He said he spent an hour and a half. I spent 7 hours
Mhm.
doing this fucking level, and that's not an exaggeration. I'm not even joking.
And what happened at the end of it?
I fucking gave up and quit.
Yeah, see?
I had to tell Scott, I was like, I'm sorry, but this is one of these games that I cannot
Yeah.
complete. Like, fuck this game.
Yeah.
The guy's videos I watched several playthroughs of the games, tips and tricks for the game. I even found this, like, trick, and I can put it in the YouTube video later.
Yeah.
But I'll tell you guys about it, and I'll tell Scott about it. There's a trick. So, yeah, I didn't know about the rolling mechanic, because
Yeah.
it doesn't tell you the rolling mechanic until the 6th level. But there's a way you can roll with the egg. And so there's a lot of people that said an easier way to do it, because pushing the egg onto this railing, sometimes, so you'd barely push it and it would go on the railing. Sometimes it'd be fine. Other times you'd barely push it and it would fall right through.
Well, and
or you'd
what's
put it
stupid
on the
in this
rail and
one,
it would hit the rail
it
and
would
fall
just
down.
stop.
Yeah, it wouldn't even just
Like,
go on.
so, like, you have to push it onto the railing, and normally when you get close enough, the railing would just take it like a magnet, and it would roll. And in this one, you would get so close to the edge that your feet are barely on the fucking platform, and it would just stop, and you'd be like,
And then
so
you'd have to try to push it again, and then
it
fall
would
off.
You would fall off, and the egg would fall off.
Yep.
And then the egg falls through for some reason.
Yeah, it just falls through the
Yeah,
track. I don't know how many
and-
times I hit the track rail or went through the track railing
Yeah.
or whatever.
Like, this is why it took me so long because of that. And then finally I made it through, and then I fucked up because I did a bounce to kill that enemy at the end of it, and I bounced off. And I was like, are you fucking me? Are you fucking me right now? Like, I was so mad because that was my fault.
And then, so yeah, you have to do that through a railing twice. And
Yeah.
the other thing that sucks is if you actually do put it on the rail, it has a little tiny narrow passage that the egg can't get through, but only you can get
Yeah.
through. And the wall is thick as fuck.
Yeah, so
and
when
your
you go
camera
through,
gets
you
stuck
can't
behind
see
it.
Shit. So this is one just like Banjo. This is this bullshit where they fucking have this 3D world, and you're a third-person view, and if you get too close to a wall, your camera gets stuck.
Or it
goes
just shifts
into the
all
wall.
the way around
God,
your
it is
back.
so annoying.
Like, you'll be like walking forward on a narrow pathway, and then all of a sudden, like an enemy will get too close to you or something, and the camera just goes whoop.
This is why
And
they
you're
had
like,
to fix this
"What
issue.
the
'Cause so many
fuck?"
people, I'm sure, got pissed off at these fucking games where the camera just gets
Ah.
stuck or it goes through, and you can't see shit when you walk through it. You can't see. So if the egg is going too fast, it's just gonna roll right off the
And
edge.
if you walked through that doorway too fast because the egg was going a little faster on the railway, sometimes the camera would actually get stuck back there, and
Yeah.
you couldn't do anything. You couldn't see anything.
Yep.
You're like, so the egg would just crash,
Yep.
and then you'd have to start over again.
And it starts you at the platform, sure, but then you lose 5 lives in like a matter of 2 minutes.
It's
Yeah.
I don't know how many times I did that.
Yeah,
So
and then you'd have to start over from the beginning of the level and get back to the egg part, which is already fucking annoying.
yes,
So,
which that level it wasn't too far away.
no.
Which thank God it wasn't. So
but
it wasn't
still,
too
it's
annoying.
Still fucking
but
annoying.
it was ridiculous. And like even the videos and playthroughs. So I was watching a playthrough of these two guys playing it, and they were playing it actually on the GameCube, and it was
Yeah.
having these exact same problems.
Because we
And-
thought it was an emulation error. At first.
Yeah. So they were having the exact same problems, and he was saying in one video that he was on there for 2.5 hours, and then
Yeah.
in the next video he said he was on the video for an hour and a half. So he even struggled
Yeah.
with this for 4 hours. But he ended up after his first playthrough of doing it for 2.5 hours, looking up all these different things, and I ended up looking up this too afterwards because I wanted to see it. But he actually showed it too. You could actually roll onto those railings
Yeah.
if you got it perfect, but you had to get it exactly perfect.
Yeah.
And so I actually perfected that really well. But here's the thing. On the second one, the second railing, as soon as you get across it, there's this fucking topspin Beyblade motherfucker that just, as soon as he sees you, starts
Another penguin, I
going.
think.
Yeah, it's a penguin that
Yeah.
does this little Beyblade attack where he's like spinning with knives.
Yeah.
And if you put the egg on the track and then go through, as soon as he sees you walk through the door, he'll get there as soon as the egg gets to the bottom, hit it, breaks
Yeah.
it. You have to start over.
What I ended up doing was, so you have to break a gate before you put the egg on, or after,
Yeah.
either one. But I just left the egg there, grabbed the other egg that was there, broke the gate, rolled that egg off the edge, and then went through and got another egg that was on the other side of that and killed him before I rolled the egg.
One of the things you could do, if you could keep your pet and not die through it.
Yeah, you
is
could do the pet.
you
Yeah,
could
sure.
Run through the door and just
But
throw
there's
the pet.
no guarantee. Like, that was the
Yeah.
thing. I was like, cool, I got my pet this time. And then you die. And then you're like,
then
okay,
you
I
just
guess
lose
I'm
your
not
pet.
doing it.
I wish you could take the pets into the boss fights too.
Yeah, I know. But that
Or
would
you're
be
already
too-
full eggs.
It's already easy enough.
I know,
so
but-
it doesn't matter.
The other thing is, so if you did the rolling technique, as soon as the penguin started coming towards you, you could jump and bounce and
Yeah.
then float over him and then just dash away
Yeah.
after, which is what I ended up having to do. And I got pretty good at that. But then you go into an area that's got an enemy that slaps down real hard on this narrow little path with
Yeah.
camera with a wall right in the
Those are
left.
actually the easiest ones to kill. Because you literally just hit him once, he's going to slap down, you jump, he can't hit you. And then you slam on top of him and
Not
kill him.
always true.
Oh.
I would jump a lot and still get hit.
Oh, mine never got
I in the air. There was one time I was like at Max thing, and he went like this, and it popped the egg, and I was
That's
like,
crazy.
How?
Yeah,
I made it so far. I made it past this bullshit part.
I mean, I kept fucking up on that railing. But what you have to do, so normally what you do is you roll, you jump and you roll in the air, and you can jump right on it and keep going. And this one, it would make you fall fucking through if
Yep.
you did that. So you have to roll and hit the ground and then roll into it.
Yep.
And even still, about 60% of the time it would work, and then the other 40 you would fall right.
Which that was the best way to roll onto the railings.
It's to roll on
earlier.
the ground.
Yeah, like
So-
the first one, there's got a little platform before you get to it,
Yeah.
and I would jump roll and then roll into the rail, and
Yeah.
that was the easiest way
So
to aim
and
it
what's
too.
weird is you never had to do this before. All the other
Never.
railings you walked up to and it rolled for you.
Yeah, the blue ones especially.
Yeah.
The
So-
blue ones, it would roll you with the egg, and the red ones, you would put the egg up, and it would take the egg and start
Yeah.
rolling it.
But with
This one was completely
yeah,
different.
it would take the egg for some reason, and then again, only 60% of the time, and then you'd fall through. But eventually, I figured out like, oh, okay, I remember this. The blue ones you roll on, so this one must be fucking stupid.
Yeah.
And then finally, as soon as I got on there, I won. I beat it, which took again an hour and a half. The circus level is the most broken level in the game. It's the most frustrating level.
I seriously, I don't think I've ever gotten so mad at a
Yeah.
video game before. Like,
I know it's ridiculous how
Like,
little
Dark Souls is easier than
Yeah,
this
and
level.
I can't
Like,
believe that they
hate
did
it.
this. I can't believe
Like,
that
this is a kid's game.
Yeah, and this is a game test game. This is a game you have to go in and find bugs after game testing, and someone had to have found that.
Yeah.
Absolutely, because how many people did you search who had that same trouble?
Everyone.
And then they
almost.
didn't fucking fix it.
And every critic, like this game critically, I think it's got like a 7 or 7.2
Yeah.
out of 10 for
Because it's
most.
just interesting. It's a fun game. Like, it
And
is
it's basically
really fun.
because of the concept, and basically
Yeah.
because of the first 4 levels.
Yeah.
The first 4 levels, fantastic. I actually kind of enjoy the game.
Yeah.
There's a couple times where it was a little difficult for me because I didn't guess I get the mechanics and stuff
Yeah.
very well. I didn't talk to many people, so I was kind of having to self-teach myself things
Yeah.
and watch videos for
Gotta
things.
talk to
But
those chickens running around.
yeah,
Probably males.
but a lot of them didn't say anything, so I kind of got tired of talking to them because
They'd
it's
be
like,
like, ah!
it's morning now. Did you see that?
And you'd be like, shut up, chicken.
I'm a chicken. And you're
I
like,
had a
okay,
chicken
I don't give
pot
a
pie
fuck.
for dinner last night.
But yeah, no, it was just so crazy to me that
Yeah.
these last 2 levels were so bad. Like, there was I'll pull up one of the critic reviews that I saw. This one has it as a 70 out of 100. It's impossible not to feel disappointed with a title that, to judge by its opening, ought to have competed on an even footing with Super Mario Sunshine.
Yeah.
He said that the beginning of this game is even footing with the levels in
Because this
Super
is
Mario
when
Sunshine.
Sega and Nintendo were really competing.
Yes. But instead, it's an uneasy compromise between the splendor of the early levels and the inadequacies of the later missions.
Yeah.
But that's just putting it really lightly.
Yeah.
But
Like, honestly, this game could have been something great if they just would have not rushed
it
production.
honestly
And
could have been a
they-
great franchise.
I bet they fucking rushed production. I guarantee,
I guarantee you.
Sega like got 4 levels in and then they're like, fucking get it out of the week. God, you gotta take it forever.
Seriously though, this level, like, I wanted this to be so good.
Yeah.
And honestly, it was so frustrating to me not being able to complete this game because of how good the beginning was.
Yeah.
Like, I really can't say how much I loved the beginning and then just got utterly destroyed.
Just be
and
lucky
it broke
you
my
never,
spirit.
You never made it to the last levels because they got so annoying.
Oh, no, I know. I watched the playthrough
Yeah.
of these 2 guys like I was telling you about, which they're freaking hilarious. I'll have to post about them later or something, but yeah, these guys were fucking hilarious. But like the last level, he struggled with so much.
The last boss.
Yeah.
I struggled until I figured out the mechanics. I'm so
It
stupid.
takes you
Really, it's because
10
I'm done.
It takes you 10 minutes to get to the boss.
Which is fine. That 10 minutes is normal for a level anyway in a normal
not when
game.
you have to. And he would get to the last boss with like 2 lives almost every
Oh, really?
time.
I got there always 5. Like, the last level wasn't hard.
It looked hard as shit. Are you serious?
It's like, it's literally hard if you're dumb. Like that. I'm
well,
sorry,
I
but
must
that,
be a dumbass.
yeah. See, and I was
motherfucker
stupid
then,
too. Like, it
'cause-
was really hard for me. And I texted you that morning. I was like, I've been 3 hours on this fucking boss. I haven't beat him yet, and it's because I'm stupid. Because I'm dumb and I didn't explore my options. Like, so
Okay.
the last level is really interesting. You go through these things, and the problem is they introduce new mechanics.
Yeah.
And again, I hate getting introduced to new mechanics because the last level is supposed to be a culmination of everything you've learned in the game, and you use those things you've learned to complete the last level. Normally, right? That's a normal
yeah,
game.
that's how it normally
They
goes.
introduced this new fucking bullshit mechanic where you have to clean up darkness off the ground.
Oh yeah, that was so
Yeah.
ridiculous and hard.
Yeah.
That seemed buggy as hell too.
It was, because you couldn't tell where the darkness was sometimes, because they'd leave little spots.
because
and
it
then-
had little light fragments.
Yeah, yeah.
And like you wouldn't see it, and
and you have
sometimes
to
the camera would
roll
hide
over
it.
it with your egg, and it's a huge circle, so you have to do it multiple times to clear it out. It's almost like erasing a fucking pencil mark.
If you didn't do it fast enough, or if you stopped moving, it would all reappear.
Yeah, so, and if you missed one tiny dot, and literally the tiniest dot, and you're fucked because it reappears.
Yep.
So, and that was fine for just the main level, because there's no, like, consequence to not doing it fast.
Yeah.
But in the boss fight, they introduced that, and there is consequences to not doing
yeah.
that fast.
You can take a lot of damage from
Yeah,
him.
so you do that. That's a new concept. Then they introduce another new concept. Now you have to take shadows, which are supposedly ghosts, but they're fucking shadows. There's nothing ghostly about shadows. And then you have to pull them into this light source and destroy them. And it's just random. It's so random to introduce these new fucking concepts so late in the game.
Yeah.
But the problem is, at the last boss, it's just giant crow motherfucker. He's like he basically makes these darkness pools, and these darkness pools you have to clean one up. So you always have to start by cleaning one up.
Yeah.
Because he will just continuously make them.
Because he's got a barrier shield around him
Yeah.
until you clean up at least one of
One,
them, and
yes.
then he falls down. And you can do a little bit of damage, but if you don't clean up one of them, you don't get to do any damage, and he goes right to his second attack right away.
Yeah. So, and here's the problem with this: is if they're touching, you can't clean up.
Yeah.
You have to clean up both, which isn't worth it because you don't have enough time to do that.
No.
So you have
'Cause
to
you have to
kind
do
of
it
wait.
fast.
Yeah, you have to wait
you
until.
have to do it fast.
So
too.
in the first part, he'll release 2 pools, and if they're touching at all, which they do overlap sometimes, you can't clean it up because you have to clean up both. He then eventually will go around in a circle. About 30 seconds or 40 seconds after he puts down the pools, he'll make the pools explode, and if you're in them, you'll take like a full chicken heart of damage.
Which it doesn't even like give you a warning.
No, you have to
like
watch him.
changing colors.
So this
Yeah.
is where one of my things. So by the way, the circus level, the easy solution to that fucking rail thing was to make more fruit in the beginning where they had the golden egg to make it bigger. Because then it probably would have never fallen through. Because it doesn't
honestly,
give you enough fruit to make that bigger, so it falls through
because
because
it only
it's
gives
not
you
big.
it gives you 6 enemies, which is the only
And they're all
enemies on the
small.
way, and they're all small, and they give you small fruit, which it doesn't give you enough fruit because I think it's 10 small fruit
Yeah.
to get make it a little bit bigger,
Too big fruit,
or too big fruit.
which
Yeah,
makes no fucking sense.
no, it doesn't.
But if you get the egg bigger, those railings, I don't think you have a problem. Like
Not at
literally,
all.
but they didn't make it so you could get it bigger.
Or actually put hit boxes on the railing so
Yeah.
that way it hits things and
Yeah.
doesn't just fall off of it.
But in this one, they need a fucking target system.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ, they needed a target system because your camera angles are bullshit.
Oh,
This is
God.
why I kept dying on this fucking boss. I couldn't see him.
Mhm.
So you move one direction and your camera suddenly shifts around
Oh, yeah.
so you can't see the boss anymore. And that's super obnoxious. If they put in a targeting system, this game gets 100% better.
Well, and it's weird because I never figured this out during the game, but when I was watching the playthrough, you could lock on to enemies.
Kind of. So you have an arrow that's locked on already, and if you hit the right button, which was because I use my Xbox controller,
I
the
do
right
too.
button, it would pan to them. But I hated that because if I wanted to pan away from them,
Yeah.
I had to use my fucking C stick. Like that's super
Yeah.
annoying. That's not fun. So so you have this bullshit target system where you kept losing this guy. So what I kept trying to do is clear the circle, right?
Yeah,
To hit him, because that's how I thought you only hit him.
yeah.
Because I'm fucking stupid. I did this for 3 hours.
Oh, because you didn't do it when he was actually shooting the snake
because
things
it
at
doesn't
you.
explain that you have to do
Yes.
that too.
So I probably would have not figured this out
but
right
it's
away too. 'cause
bullshit.
it's
Unless you
bullshit.
watch a video on it, you have no idea about it.
It was only because this guy had watched videos on this last fight that he knew about this. But yeah, if he shoots these like snake things after he does like the pool things, and
They're like the Naruto fucking. What are they? The oh shit. It's not shuriken. It's the big shuriken. They're kind of like that. They look like that while they're spinning.
I just thought they looked like giant purple snakes with a
Well,
giant head.
so when you're actually playing it, they look like these the spinning
Oh.
purple things. It
Okay.
almost looks like the shuriken, the big
I don't
ones.
remember.
So yeah, and then they explode when they hit you.
But they are heat seeking, so they keep
Yeah.
following you. But
Which
if
they're
you,
not hard to avoid.
if you're sprinting and you sprint around the back of him, you can get them.
Oh,
to,
you can just sprint right through them.
Every time he tried sprinting through him, he got hit.
Oh, I never did.
Okay.
I just sprinted right through him. So at the end, I just did this because sometimes he would do this. His shield would be down on those, and I'm like, how is this happening? Is it because I'm dodging them every time? And that's what I kept doing. And I'm like, why is it only happening sometimes? This is fucking weird. And then finally, what I ended up doing to avoid the first launch of them is sprinting towards them and then
Okay.
sprinting backwards because you can avoid them really easy.
Okay.
And I sprinted too far and I got towards them and they hit him. I'm like, oh shit, that's how it breaks his shield. And that's when I figured it out, but it was really fucking annoying doing
But
that.
the other thing that was annoying with that is a lot of times he would shoot 3 to 5 of those things at
So
you.
he starts with 2, then 3, then 4.
Yeah. But once you got to the 4, it sucked because this game didn't give you immunities when you got hit.
Nope.
So when you got hit,
You could keep getting
get hit over and over again.
Yeah.
And
Which
since
is
those
not-
things traveled together, if you got hit once, it could insta-kill you.
Yeah. It wasn't too hard to avoid though. The thing is, like in the first part of it, so like I said, 2 circles, kill 1 circle, he starts throwing those, then you can just start hitting him with it. You can literally just hit him with the first 2 that come out. Like
Yeah.
this boss took me 2 minutes after I figured this fucking out. This is how obnoxious this was. But that's the second level of damage. On the third level of damage, he shoots 1, you can run towards him, but then he immediately shoots another one.
Mm,
So normally on the second level of damage is a little pause that waits till they explode.
okay.
But then as soon as he shoots that one, 10 seconds later, he shoots another one out.
Mm,
So it's like literally, it's super duper fast. So you have to do it fast to hit them. And then if you hit them with them, they don't just disappear. They keep tracking you. So you have to hit them, dodge all of them and while you're hitting them. Because if you don't hit them fast enough, you're not doing any damage to them and they'll go back into a stupid circle.
okay.
Yeah.
Weird.
Really obnoxious in that last part. But then there's a second tier to the first boss ever that there was a second tier to. You do fight the guy we thought was the final boss. His name is Corvus, I think.
Yeah. Or
I think
Lord Corvo.
Yeah,
or
Corvus, something like that. But
something.
he just summons and gave you a warning like this boss is fucking hard. And he is not hard.
He summons a
Shadow.
rudimentary shadow form of all the other bosses.
Yeah,
so
which
far.
is really easy to fucking avoid.
Which they all do their base easiest attack
Yeah.
to get away from.
Yeah, and it was so easy. And
Like
then,
the one just runs after you and just goes like this, and you could just dodge him. You never have to
Yeah.
hit him once.
Yeah.
The walrus just does his little slide
Yeah,
thing, which
slide
you
at
dodge,
you.
and you don't.
The
do
whale, I
anything.
think, I don't remember what the whale did.
I don't
I think he
remember
just
either.
jumped on you.
And then the monkey was throwing the balls.
Yeah, like super easy. This guy took no time at all, but the last boss did not have this one.
Oh, and then he after each one of the bosses, he appeared with 5 other of himself.
Yeah.
And if you just sprinted through them, and
Well, and you can tell which one was which. You could actually see like one of them would jump at the beginning, and that's the one you could
Oh.
tell. It's really easy to tell which one was the real one, and once you hit the real one, all the other ones disappear.
Yeah, it wasn't hard at all. Once
Yeah,
you
but-
figured that out.
Yeah, so on this boss, there's a second tier. He absorbs the egg's power and
Yeah, it
becomes
was
like
weird.
a
It
darkness
breaks.
crow.
So the giant egg that you're trying to get to and trying to save and trying to
Yeah.
get this person to not use a wish, all of a sudden the egg just breaks,
yeah,
and then all of a sudden like this dark energy comes out of it, and
Oh
then
my
he
God.
absorbs it, and he turns into basically like
a
Raven.
crow god.
When she turns into a purple
Yeah.
crow,
yeah,
like that's exactly what she looks.
I
or
think
when
she turns into a
yeah,
purple
she turns into a
raven,
raven. Fuck,
stupid.
I'm dumb. All right, I get it. My bad, guys.
what's her name again?
Raven, Trigon's daughter. I love.
Yeah, it
her.
does. It doesn't look like a crow either. It does
No.
actually look more like a raven.
Yeah.
than it does a crow.
So it just looks like a galaxy purple
Yeah,
raven, and it's so stupid because then it's like, oh, all those emblem of courages you found, you need to use your courage
yeah.
to
So
fight against
and I
him.
think this might be so. In the desert temple, actually, there's a chicken you talk to, and he says, "So, what do you think would be sufficient to fight the final boss? 15 courage, 20 courage? I think you should go for 25."
Oh, so you think the amount of courage actually matters to how much damage you do
I
or
think
something?
so. I don't know for sure. That's just a weird thing for the chicken to say. I had 32 by the end of the game, so I wasn't too worried about doing it.
I was only doing one
Yeah,
of
yeah,
each,
yeah.
so I would have only had 8.
Yeah, so I
Or
don't even
9,
think you would have been
I don't know.
able to face the final boss. I don't know if it would have unlocked if you didn't have 20
I don't know.
or 15. I don't know. It was a weird one where it's like, that was just something weird it said, and it didn't explain it anywhere else, so I'm not sure if that's true or not.
So
But-
yeah, he takes your chicken suit away from you, and then all of a sudden, with the courage that you have, you gain another chicken suit.
So but it's stupid. You have to. He takes your chicken suit away, and then he hits you, and you just let him hit you. Because
Yeah.
he can't kill you while your chicken suit's off because he only hits you twice. But you just let him hit you, and then. Well, and this is what I thought was dumb, where they missed out on a good opportunity. So there's this narrator who's been talking to you. You have no idea who it's this narrator fucking
Mhm.
is. I thought it was going to be the king. That would have been
Okay.
great. I was like, oh my god, that would have been fucking. I like at the end, I was like, it's you, isn't it? You son of a bitch. You've been helping me this whole time because you wanted to get to the egg, and I unlocked it for you. But nope,
maybe.
it's not him. It's just some random fucking voice in the sky that's talking to you. It
Yeah.
doesn't explain who that is.
No, it didn't.
Yeah, so and it makes no sense. But I thought that guy would be it, and he's the guy who tells you use your courage, and then you're supersonic all of a sudden. So and they do this at the end of every Sonic game. The new ones is you become supersonic and you beat the final boss of supersonic, and that's what you are. You're glowing
Yeah.
gold.
So this Raven, he does these like swooping attacks, but then he does this thing where he builds up a lot of dark energy and he forms it into a ball, and then he launches the ball at you, and then it introduces another new mechanic in the
Yep.
game.
So this is bullshit too. If you're not close to the ball when he launches it, you can't catch it.
No, you can do it from on the other side of the map.
Oh, I couldn't do it. I had to be right on that fucking ball when he
Oh,
spawned it,
no,
which was the easiest way anyway, because he just doesn't do anything. He just runs towards you and you hit him right away.
The guy, I think he's the guy just said that the video that I watched. The guy said he just held B like on the
I
outside.
tried that, didn't work. I tried mashing B, didn't work. I tried hitting B right as it came at you, didn't work. So eventually
Okay.
I just went right up to it. I'm like, let's see if this works. And that was the only thing that worked.
Maybe it was buggy on the emulator. Or
Yeah,
something
maybe.
then. But like,
It was
yeah,
bullshit is what
so
it was.
the dark ball came towards you, and you're supposed to hit B, and you change the ball into a ball of light, and then you had to run the ball into him. Trap him.
You could just throw it.
Oh,
You
what
could-
the fuck?
See,
God damn
run
it!
it into him. You could throw it into him. You could bounce it into him. Like as long as it hit him,
I
it was
swear
fine.
to God, this game is so dumb for not teaching you how to do anything.
Yeah, because that's what I thought too. Because I thought if I ran into him, I would take damage. So I was like, I'm just gonna throw it.
Because the guy I was watching, he didn't throw it either. He
Yeah.
just tried ramming him,
Yeah.
and he was like he would just sprint at him right away because he would still be
This
in
kid
that
does not
spot.
sound like he did a good job in this game. I'll be honest.
He played it exactly like I did.
Oh,
So
okay.
I probably would have done the exact same thing he did,
But-
not thinking that you could do other shit to
Yeah,
this
yeah,
because
yeah.
this game is dumb. And
You could probably even jump up and throw it at him.
like
So
I'm so glad I didn't get to that desert level because I didn't want to fucking deal with those bees.
oh yeah, I
Fuck
hate
those
bees. Are the worst.
Those are the worst enemy type.
We'll talk about those here when we're done with the boss.
But yeah, so
So this made no sense too. So you get this light, you throw it into him, and then he turns into a small ball,
yeah,
and you hit the ball, and I'm like, why the fuck did he turn into a ball?
With
What
an-
is
yeah,
this?
you hit the ball with an egg.
Yeah, and you have to hit him a bunch of times, but he's really easy. So he does 2 or 3 things. First thing he does is he runs at you, and you just easily dodge.
Mhm.
Second thing he does is he throws like darkness puddles at you,
Yeah.
and you easily dodge them. And then the third thing he does is he makes it dark, and then he does a combination of the first 2.
Yeah.
And then you get the final thing is dark ball of energy, you turn it to light. And then after you do that 3 times, he dies.
Yeah.
And you save the chicken.
Which was just so weird.
Yeah. But if you make it to the end of the game, you do get a cool little song, which I did like the song a lot. Like, so the credits start rolling and the song, like, it's like,
It's so-
and they turn it into an actual song. And it's funny because the girl is singing it whenever that do part comes up. She's like, "Kaka do 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 do
God damn
do,"
it.
and I thought that was really funny. It made me laugh.
It was stupid because like the credit scene, so it takes you back to the real world.
Yeah,
And then it has all of these chickens standing outside there, like telling you goodbye, and it's all you and your friends, and all your friends start walking away to leave, and then you almost start like crying. You're like,
"Oh God, I miss killing things."
Once in the morning. And it was funny too, because every time you opened an Elder Egg, I don't know if you've seen this old. I think this movie came out in the '90s or late '80s. Have you seen Rockadoodle?
No. Oh yeah, yes. That's the stupid one with the rooster with the stupid fucking guitar, right?
You gotta crow now.
Yeah.
The rooster that does Elvis
Fucking
impersonations
the
in
worst,
Vegas.
The worst.
No, it's
God,
fucking
the
awesome.
Fucking worst movie.
But that's
of all
exactly
time.
what the premise of this is.
Yeah.
Because he has to crow to make the sun come up.
Yeah.
Because, well, in that one, it's an owl that's evil that's
Yeah.
taking away the morning.
Yeah.
But it's basically the same concept.
Yeah, same concept. They just took this movie and made it into a shitty game.
Pretty much.
Yeah, this and it's so weird because the guy's just like crying, and all I could think was like, man, now I gotta go home and murder crows as a regular person.
Right.
I'm just like, Jesus, Billy, you are
But
a
yeah,
dark son of a bitch.
that's the game.
Yeah, so in the game, and what he mentioned before, some of the worst enemies, and this was one of the coins you had to get too, but this was one of the worst coins. So, in the beginning of the game, in the first level, the forest level, you spawn with your back to a door that's always shut, so you can hit these switches that open these doors. This door doesn't have a switch. What you have to do is there's a fence right next to it that's kind of wide. You have to jump on the fence, bounce over the door.
Okay.
There's no way you would know this. I had to
No.
look this one up because I could not find this fucking coin anywhere. And I was like, what does it mean you have to bounce over the door? So I went and I tried it. I'm like, oh shit, there's a whole nother area back
God
here with a
damn it.
broken bridge. And you go down, there's literally 30 bees.
Oh my
Not
god.
little health bees,
The big
giant
ones.
health bees. Fucking like all
Which-
coming at you at the same time.
I'm gonna tell you guys about these bees because these bees are fucking bullshit. Because
Yeah.
there's no way to attack them. Is there any way to attack them while they're in there?
So, I mean, you can hit them with your animal. That's the only way
Okay.
I found the
So
easiest way to kill
without
them was
an animal, there's no way to attack them while they're in
you
the
can
air.
bounce on top of them in the air, but it's fucking hard.
Okay.
It is really hard to get on them exactly because they shift around a lot.
Yeah. So these bees, they're just these giant, and they had these giant. I don't mean to be big, but fat asses.
Yeah.
Like there's the giant butt ends, and then they had these stingers that were scraping across the ground.
And they get bigger when they're scraping at you.
yes, and it's fast as hell.
Yeah. So you have to avoid them. So avoiding one isn't hard. Avoiding 30, fucking
Avoiding
difficult.
one on a narrow pathway,
Yeah,
hard as
super
hell.
hard. But avoiding like 2 or 3 is hard. Like
Yeah.
it's insane how
Especially because the
stupid.
camera is terrible with them, especially
Yeah.
because how big they are.
Yeah,
The
if you
camera
could
gets
target-
behind it, one of them,
Yeah.
and then you can't see another one coming at you.
And
Like-
the only way you can hit them is they randomly, if you stay close to them after you dodge them, if you don't stay close to them, they start running at you again.
Yeah.
But if you stay close to them after you dodge them, they become bigger and,
And
they
they'll
like
come down slowly,
really slowly.
and go into the ground, and once they're all the way in the ground, then you can hit them as much as you want.
Yeah, and
you
it's
can
funny
kill
because
them.
they completely reverse their mechanic. Because when they're running at you, they're really fast. And
Yeah.
they're like, all right, now I gotta make my ass big. Gotta go
Like,
really
seriously.
slow down. Like this was the dumbest boss. Or not, it's basically a boss because every one is
Basically.
fucking hard to kill. But yeah, to get this coin, you had to go down there around 30 bees. Don't kill any of them. Just dodge as much as you
Oh
can.
god.
Grab the coin and then just die.
Fuck that.
So that's what I did. I was like, I'm just gonna fucking die, and then you spawn back and you have the coin.
So stupid.
Yeah, and then to finish the coins, this was the dumbest part. If you collect all the coins, you still have to finish the level. So on certain levels,
God
like
damn.
you had, and the problem is you had to fail on some of these. So one of the things I had to do on the racing levels, you have to start the race, you have to lose the race
Oh wow.
because the coins are always outside the race parameters. You have to go to weird spots to get them. So for the coins on the race, you have to lose, and then if you lose the race, you have to start it over again.
God damn it.
And then you have to beat the race and you lose a life. You better hope you don't have just one life left, or you better just beat it and then go back into it. It was really annoying for some of these fucking things.
That's annoying.
Yeah, but the bees were terrible. Some of these enemies were just so not thought through. It's not challenging just to be completely fucking frustrated the entire game.
Oh, and one thing I noticed too, that I'm pretty sure this is the way it was. When you had one life and died, it was game over. It wasn't
Yeah.
0 life,
Yeah, yeah,
game
yeah.
over.
Which
Like,
makes sense. I mean, you go down.
it was just
from 1
weird
to
because like a
0.
lot of
They do
games
0, 0.
have 0,
Yeah.
and then because you still have your life that you're living.
Yeah.
Like if it said you had 1 life left, but this one was when you had 1 life left and died,
yeah.
it's 0. Like
Yeah. So other games, and I know that they do that in like Sonic and they do that in Mario and stuff, but in this
Mhm.
one, not so much.
yeah.
So I got confused on that too, but then I was like, I guess it makes sense because 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 is 5, right? It's not 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Yeah.
So,
Just give me 4 then. And
yeah,
just
give me
bring it back
fucking
to
4.
0.
Yeah, and this game is it was such bullshit in some of the parts of this game. And I will say one of the cool things. So in one of the missions in the last one, it's really stupid. So it makes it sound like this. And I guess did I mention the jump mechanic in this? I explained it to you, but I don't remember if I did it in the video or if I did.
We kind of went over like the.
So
Oh no, we didn't go over like your character jumping.
so not that. So there's this thing. You
Oh
can do.
yeah, we didn't talk about
So
it.
there's the buggy fucking game in the last part of the game for that final boss. You can either spend 10 minutes getting through the mission, or you could do it in literally 2, maybe 1 minute. So in the future levels of the last part of the game, because in the first one it's the last boss, and then you have like 7 other levels, with including the 3 from the characters you unlock.
Mhm.
But one of the levels is you have to jump onto this part early in the level that has these rings that let you get onto it. If you take a regular egg and you place it in the corner, kind of like it's so specific. And if you're new to the game, you won't do this your first time. You do it several times. I couldn't figure it out,
Okay.
but I saw people do it, and I thought that was interesting. After I beat the game, I was like, how many other people had fucking?
Yeah.
You place the egg like in between the wall and this statue that's sitting there, and then go get another egg, level it up all the way. You have to level both legs up all the way to have them full bigness or whatever. And then if you jump in between it, it lets you super bounce.
Interesting.
And lets you jump up to a spot you normally can't get to until a later level. And if you go all the way through that, it lets you get to the last part in literally like 30 seconds.
Jeez,
because
ridiculous.
that it leads naturally in the next level to that last part.
Okay.
So, and this was an annoying thing in this level is you have to do this and then go up even higher because where the portal is, it's not there for this next level. The point of this level in the description was roll down a really dangerous slope. All right. You spent 90% of this level getting to the fucking slope.
Wow.
Yeah. So you have to start at the beginning where you start normally, go all the way through, get to that part, going through these rings, go through that up part, jump through it, jump on these platforms, jump up even further, kill two things. You're finally at the slope. Slope lasts 10 fucking seconds.
Oh, jeez.
It was dangerous. Sure, it was a little hard. I died my first time going down. Then I didn't die again. Because I was like, okay, this is really a lot easier. Because as soon as it's like really narrow, but as soon as you hit it, you're supposed to jump and jump on the next side of the slope and the next side. Kind of going back and forth. But literally, the description was go down this fucking slope. And then it's 10 seconds of the level is going down this fucking slope.
All right.
It's bullshit.
Interesting.
Yeah, this whole game, like, they had these descriptions like, do this, and then it's the smallest part of the level is doing that thing. It's just getting to that thing is the big part.
So I know you had talked about yesterday, we were talking about things that we could do to help this game.
Yeah.
I had one suggestion that I think would make this game bearable. And besides fixing the bugs.
Tits and ass.
No.
Oh, okay.
Not for this game. Other games, yeah.
No. Just random on the screen. Like, just a random naked woman.
No.
Yeah.
This isn't like what is that movie? The unrated version just has random naked girls walking into it.
I have no idea.
I'll think about it later.
Oh, is it a college movie?
Kind of.
It's The Road Trip.
No, it's not Road Trip. It's one.
Well, I thought it was Road Trip because remember there's a part where he's like, and then there's these hot babes and they're all naked in the bathroom, and then the guy's like, why is this pertinent to the story? I'm telling the story. It's just like this.
Oh, I love Road Trip.
Yeah.
But it's not Road Trip. It's something else. I can't remember it. It's like the whole premise of the movie is this, and Seth Green's in this movie too. The whole premise of the movie is this guy's going.
Without a paddle?
No, this guy's going across the country to go on a date with this girl because he wanted to sleep with her.
Yes. Yeah, I know exactly what
and they
you're
have
talking
that
about. He takes
Amish
his brother's car
Yes.
because she wants to steal it.
which
it
his
turns
brother is
out.
James Marsden.
Yeah. Oh fuck. It's and it's got the girl from that '70s show I think in it as a lead woman.
I don't remember what the girl is. It's not Laura Papon.
It's not.
No.
Is she the redhead?
Yeah,
Yeah, I think
it's
it
not
is.
her.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
Are you positive?
Yes.
I feel like it is, or it's the girl who played Mary Jane from Spider-Man. I feel it's one
not
of those.
either
but
of them.
It's in my brain. It's one of those guys. But it's God. It's
I know it's gonna bug me.
I know it because it was the weirdest thing in high school. I had this friend whose mom everyone said was hot, which is fucking weird already. You shouldn't, I don't know, denigrate women by saying like their attractiveness makes them valuable. But this mom loved this movie. It was her favorite fucking movie in the world. And she would tell me about it, and she's like, no, you don't understand how many hot chicks are in this movie. And I'd be like, you're a mom. Shut the fuck up.
There's a lot of hot chicks in this movie.
Yeah.
And the unrated version, it's funny because the directors come out and they're like, I hate unrated movies where they add like one extra like 30 seconds to a scene or an extra pair of boobs or maybe an extra butt or this.
Yeah.
So we wanted to have a movie with lots of tits like this, and they have a naked woman, just full frontal naked woman there.
And I don't like
and
that.
lots of dicks like this.
Okay,
and point to a
as long as they did that too.
They had a big black guy with a giant cock.
Nice.
And they pointed at it and like it was like, and then it was like on the middle of the screen for a while, and then so like literally in the randomness in the movie, like you'd like two characters would be talking, like he's working at the mall one time, and all of a sudden like he's talking and like a random girl walks into the mall just butt naked right in front of him, then just walks away.
Sweet.
It happens so many times during the movie, but it's hilarious.
As long as they put a guy with a dick in there, I think that's cool too.
They did. So yeah, the one thing I think
what is it called? It's gonna kill me.
I'll look it up when you talk about your thing.
Right.
The one thing I wanted to change, I think if they added the death from Tak and the Power of
Sex
Juju.
drive.
Sex drive.
Sex
yes,
drive.
thank you.
Yes.
Okay.
Because I was like, it had something to do with fucking riding in a car.
I know.
Yeah.
So yeah, if if they had the death mechanics of tack and the power of Juju,
Yeah.
where if you
just-
died, you
go
spawned right back
Yes.
where you were
His tack
with
was
your
really good
egg
with
that you had
Yeah.
too, it would be perfect.
Yeah.
Like even with as buggy as it was, it wouldn't be that bad.
Yeah. And I think TAC came out around the same time.
Yeah. So honestly,
And TAC doesn't even look as good.
no.
Like, honestly.
this game actually does look
yeah, they
pretty
did
good
great with
graphically.
the graphics. Like, TAC is just a better game overall.
Yeah.
That game was so much fun.
Oh yeah, so much fun.
My thing is, on that circus, again, I said they need to make the egg bigger.
Yeah.
So, and that could have solved that whole circus problem, because that was the main problem with the game, was that level. But the big thing is targeting. They needed a target system. They absolutely needed a fucking target system, because your camera angles were so shitty. So
Yeah.
normally on first-person shooters, they won't do this because it's easy to pan from one side to the other because it's the first-person shooter.
Yeah.
On third-person shooters, they always add a target system. GTA has a target system.
True.
Sleeping Dogs had a target system.
True.
Like, shit, I just had it. There was another game that had a target system that's similar to this game. Just with a target system, it's so much easier for a third-person shooter to remain focused. Oh,
Yeah.
Kingdom Hearts.
Oh,
Kingdom Hearts
okay.
is a great target system. Again, came out around the same time.
True.
So I know it was possible to put a target system in there, and they just chose not to.
Yeah.
What a shitty choice to make. And as
Seriously.
a gamer, like as a person who's played game as long as I have, as long as you have, you put a target system in there, this whole game takes a different feel.
Mm-hmm.
The bosses get easier. It's easier to look
And
where
just
they're
putting
going.
checkpoints in these things.
Better
Like,
checkpoints. They do have checkpoints.
Isn't there? But they're
so random.
shitty
And they're so
random.
random. You have
and
no idea
It
where
doesn't tell you where they are.
You just get to guess. Like, I
Yeah.
got like 50% through a level, and I'm like, I probably hit a checkpoint. Then you die, and then you end up back at the beginning of the level. You're like, are you fucking serious?
Yeah, and then sometimes you'd get like. Sometimes the checkpoints were decent, and other times they were just absolute garbage. Like there was no
Yeah.
consistency at all. There wasn't like, oh, you make it halfway through the level, or if you make it to the Elder Egg, you're going to
Yeah.
make it. Like sometimes you make it to the Elder Egg, there's a checkpoint there. Sometimes you make it to the Elder Egg, there's not a checkpoint there.
Yeah.
It's like, what?
Yeah, my big thing too was they could have done this so much better with these checkpoints by like you said, putting a little notification that says like checkpoint, you've reached a checkpoint, whatever. And B, and this is where it gets really complicated. Like, I don't know how hard it is to make games, but they didn't even have to bring these eggs back with you. If you have a checkpoint and you don't have loss of lives, I think that makes it better, like you said earlier.
Yeah.
You know? Because having a checkpoint's great and all, but if you lose the game, it's whatever.
Yeah.
They did something good in this with the checkpoints. If you didn't have a checkpoint, but you made progress, to say that your goal was to kill 100 crows, they would keep your progress.
Okay.
So,
That's
so they would
decent,
still
at
keep the
least.
50 crows you killed, but you'd be back at the beginning of the level, and
Okay.
none of those crows would be there anymore.
Okay, well that's decent. at
So
least.
that's decent. They did that good, but they could have added on top of that with adding checkpoints.
Oh, yeah. No,
more
seriously.
seeable A and B, and more checkpoints during the actual.
Yeah. No.
So
Honestly, and
or more explanation on how to do the fucking mechanics, like the rolling thing. Because again, guys, you do not know how frustrating it is to bounce, jump, have a ledge you're barely reaching a little bit above, getting your egg up there, and then fucking falling down.
seriously,
The-
especially because
And
especially
the
as
eggs
the eggs
takes time to spawn, so you're sitting there fucking
Mhm.
waiting for the egg to come back.
because the eggs don't spawn unless the egg's broken.
No. If they're away, they will despawn.
Yeah, it'll despawn, but you have to wait for the egg to despawn,
And
then you have to wait
till
for it to spawn.
because it has a spawn time and
Exactly.
a despawn time that are not together.
No,
They're stupid.
it's annoying. So like if you get your egg stuck and you just don't have an egg and you just have to sit and
Yeah.
wait. for
And
an
the most
egg.
annoying, and I don't know if I know you didn't do this a lot, but when you hatch these stupid extra eggs that do extra powers and stuff, the double jump literally does nothing.
It doesn't anything.
Because you'd never use. I got it. And I'm like, okay, there must be a mechanic here where I have to use this double.
That's
jump.
exactly what I thought.
Nope, you don't use it at all. Never.
'Cause
Not
that
once
was
during the.
that was the
fucking game.
one power up where they like really showcased that egg.
Yeah,
Like all the other power ups I randomly found
Yeah.
and I didn't know what they were.
yeah, and you have no idea because they don't explain like the fire one. I just figured out like, oh,
Yeah.
so your egg's on fire, so it must like get hatch quicker because it's warmer.
But that's the only power up I got was the fire one and the
There's an ice
double
one.
jump one.
There's
I
one that
never got
turned-
any of the other ones.
My favorite was the metal one because it turns your egg into metal and it can't.
That would be awesome.
Yeah, that was great for. Except that was never a power up during a golden mission. So fuck that power
Yeah,
up.
seriously.
I think it just made it more durable. Like it could break, but gold egg it didn't work. But yeah, I mean, yeah, like Steven said, it's so fucking fresh. Sitting there, waiting for this egg to spawn, jumping again, getting stuck again, jumping down again, waiting
I
for the egg to
seriously-
spawn.
I have a video on one of the levels. I think it is the circus level
Yeah.
actually, where I took 4 eggs to get onto this ledge. And the thing that sucked too is this ledge. It actually had some random objects that you could jump on and
Yeah.
then jump on there. But every time I tried to jump on it, the enemies would rush over and
Yep.
destroy the object, so I couldn't jump on it. And I was like, "Fuck!"
Yeah.
So I tried to jump over the egg. Got stuck. Fell. Got stuck. Fell.
Yep.
I had 4 eggs up on the ledge. None of them were despawning, so it took a while for them all despawn in, so I could get another one. I
Yep.
was like, "This is so
So, yeah, it's so dumb. And again, all they have to do is explain, like, when you high jump, press R to roll into your jump, because then it just rolls you onto the platform rather than like trying to
Well,
getting on
and-
the edge of the platform.
Honestly, the other thing is too, when you get to the Elder Egg, you shouldn't have to catch it.
No, you really should.
Because
That is just such a lame thing because it just adds time to the game. Like all it does is add like an extra 40 seconds to the level.
and it's so stressful.
Yeah.
Because the one hit thing, and there's so many enemies that
Yeah.
are just so annoying, especially with the camera.
Yeah,
That it's just so hard, especially like the circus level. When you get the egg, you have to go so long
Yeah.
before you can even get to a place where you can get enough fruit.
yeah,
And then even then, the place where you go through all those rails, you go through the next area, you fight that other guy, you go through that a third rail, and then you get to a place where there's 15 enemies
Yep.
all on a platform together.
yep.
And you have to dodge all of that with an egg that can only take 1 hit, and then you still don't even get enough fruit, I think, from killing all those to hatch the egg.
Yep.
So you have to go to the next area. And it's like, you have to be with this egg that can't take any hits for like 5 minutes. It's bullshit.
Yeah, it's really obnoxious. I will say, and I think I've mentioned this in the Sonic episode before, Sega has a long history of drop. So they have this guy, and again, if I mentioned this, sorry, but I'm going to mention it again. This kid wanted to play this great game, and guys, if you've never played this game, this will be a game we add to our list eventually, but it's a fucking game. So this one will be like a special one. It's called Skies of Arcadia. Amazing
Yeah, you
game.
told me
This is
about
one
this
of my
one.
favorite
Yep.
games of all time. I love this game so much. Such a great concept for a game. So this kid wanted to play a second because the game is so good. Everyone wants a second one of it. And so he sent a letter to the president of the Sega, so the CEO, and the CEO wrote back to him, and he wrote a letter that said, "Dear whatever your name is, I'm sorry to inform you that we suck. We are not good at making sequels to games. We are really bad at it. We will not be making a sequel to Skies of Arcadia because I am worried we are going to ruin it. We are barely hanging on with our Sonic games right now, and they are all terrible."
Well, and every one of the endings of almost every Sega game is known to
Yeah.
be absolute shit. They have
Yeah.
great concepts.
Well, Sonic
great
DX,
concept.
Sonic DX was the most amazing.
Okay.
That was so good.
But like seriously, there's just like so many of the Sega games just drop the ball
Yeah.
at the end. It's
Really,
like, how do
they
you
do.
not know it? It's like a Stephen King movie.
Yeah,
Like, or a Stephen King book or whatever.
whatever.
Like everyone talks about that with Stephen King being the worst at ending things. It's the same thing, like the end of It with having a giant children orgy.
Yeah.
Like it's just like what? Why do you do that at
Yeah.
the? What the fuck were you thinking? Like this game, you had a boss you never heard about.
Yeah. Literally a king one.
How?
Or you heard about him, but you thought somebody else was him because that's the only person they ever introduced during
Yeah.
the entire fucking game.
It would be like I'm trying to think of another example that you could even do with that. It would. I just don't
It's
even know.
exampleless. It's
It
exampleless.
really is because like I can't even think of like. It would be like if you got told in a Mario game that
There's literally.
King Koopa was the big boss.
Well, and it's not
and
even
then
them
you find
saying that.
out
They just like don't say what the big boss. They would just say like, "This is King Koopa. He runs the Koopa," and that's all they say throughout the entire game.
and then all of a sudden you're fighting Boo at the end.
Yeah, like it would, that's literally how it would be.
It's like and the entire time you're like you've never heard of Boo, you never saw Ghost
Yeah.
the entire game, you never knew Ghost even existed in this game, and then all of a sudden you're fighting one. And you're
Yeah.
like, what?
Literally ridiculous. This game got ridiculous. And Sega again, like I love the president's letter because it's so fucking honest.
Yeah.
And I don't think he's the CEO. You can't be the CEO and send a fucking letter. But he's right. They shouldn't make Skies of Arcadia 2 because they fucking suck at making games right now. They
Yeah.
are so bad. I don't know if it's competition wise, people are hiring better people than them and paying more.
I don't
know
know
if it's just that they don't care enough, if they're making enough money off what they're doing. They used to be a really big and like good company. They used to make so many cool games. And then what the fuck happened? What the fuck happened? Sega, and they lost a bunch of licensing agreements to Nintendo. I know that. Like Nintendo got Tony Hawk from under them, and they got Madden from under them and all that. And then these companies kind of go out and choose their own publishers now. But back in the day, the publishers would reign with a certain platform.
Yeah.
So like you only saw Mario on Nintendo.
Yeah.
But you still only see
Yes,
that because
yeah.
Nintendo owns them. But a good example is Mortal Kombat. You only saw Mortal Kombat on Sega. Then they got big enough to be like, we want more money. And Sega's like, well, shit. And then they went to Sony.
It was on the Super Nintendo.
Was it?
Yeah.
No, it wasn't.
Yeah, it was. Mortal Kombat 2 was on the Super Nintendo.
Was it?
Yes, I still.
Damn.
My
God.
parents still have it.
Yeah, they were, but they tried to be exclusively like they licensed game publishers and underpaid them, and then the game publishers got too popular to be underpaid, so they got to choose their platforms after that.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure because I don't think any of the Mortal Kombats were on any of the other Nintendos.
Yeah.
I think it was only Mortal Kombat 2, and it was only on the Super Nintendo.
Yeah, but they must have got a licensing agreement before Sega did, but because it was a arcade game, I think before it was a
it was an arcade game.
Yeah, and then the Sega version they took out the blood, but then they put in a cheat code to add the
Yeah,
whatever.
exactly.
But yeah, so that was a thing back in the day, and so Sega had so many good games, and then something the Dreamcast just fucked them so hard.
I think it's just them because honestly, like these games, most of these games, all these games are designed for kids.
Yeah,
But when you're having 30-year-olds struggling for 6 hours on one fucking
it
level,
might just be because we're dumb. Maybe that's really just it. They had 30-year-olds with fucking mental instabilities going in and screaming at a children's game on the screen they're watching.
I swear, I think my neighbors might hate me at some point
Yeah.
because I seriously was just sitting in this chair just.
I had I went and got some fast food and I had a cup and I was squeezing it and it got all over my computer because I'm so mad at this circus level. I'm like, this is fucking bullshit. And I was like, this is the first time I've been really mad at a game in so long.
And when I was recording a lot of the episodes for it is when Jen was sleeping.
Yeah.
My
So you're
wife,
just
by
like,
the way.
God damn it.
So I'm like whisper yelling.
Fuck you. Bullshit, you fucking stupid fucking game.
Yeah,
These old games are the only ones I'll do that to because it reminds me of my childhood. Like I won't do that to new games because new games are made so well, but old games, yeah, for sure.
So going back to a lot of these games just is so hard.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
how? When did it? What? I don't remember this being hard.
I know I didn't beat. I played this before, like I said, but I think I didn't beat it. I'm pretty sure I didn't make it past the second one.
I don't think any kid
So,
will
and
be able to
I
beat this game.
And I think I just lost interest because my brother beat it, I think. But my brother's like super obsessive with games.
And no matter what you say about like camera mechanics and stuff of like Banjo,
Yeah.
at least you could beat that.
Yeah, well, that was equally as frustrating. That is the other time. Yes, for me, that was the other time because that last level was so awful.
Yeah, the last level was so
That's
awful.
what I'm. Once you get stuck on something for too long, I just start getting super frustrated because I'm like, this shouldn't be this way.
That's exactly what it is.
It
for me on
needs
the
to be a
circus. Like,
fucking
I
yeah.
can't-
And the same thing. Like I had to quit doing that for a day.
Yeah.
I had to relax. I had to go give myself some time. I had to watch a cool TV show. I went back and I beat it. And it only took me 20 minutes at that point.
I had to get really high after telling you that I got
Yeah.
stuck on it this circus for like I think I text Scott when I was broken on this and I was like down on my self because I was like I played this for 6 hours and I can't beat this, Scott. I was like I'm so sorry.
Yeah.
And you're like I'm struggling with the last level too. I struggle with that level too. I was like all right. I watched some playthroughs. I smoked some weed. I drank some alcohol and I was like all right. I'm feeling good. I'm light.
Right.
I'm not in my head. Went back to it. Immediate bullshit again.
Yeah,
I went through another.
"Fuck
I went through
this."
another hour and a half, and I was like, I can't fucking do this anymore.
Yeah, that it was hard. It was. I blame no one for quitting this game. If you guys can't finish this, don't worry. It seems like we're not the only ones who had a lot of trouble with this.
Should we go into ratings?
Yeah, I
then?
think so. Ratings.
So worth or not?
I'm gonna say worth. Now I'm gonna say that because the beginning of this game is so much fun and the mechanics are stupid, but the cool animals and shit you can do, the cool Sonic eggs, like they are actually pretty cool. And the animation is cool. The cutscenes are actually really good. I don't remember which game it was where it was like they needed cutscenes in it. It was a newer game. Which game was it? We did a game recently where I was like, it needed cutscenes. It needed better cutscenes.
Oh,
And I don't remember which game it was, but this game was made.
My Friend Pedro, maybe.
Maybe, but this game had cutscenes. They were really good cutscenes. It was really fluid throughout the most of the game, except for the last part of the game, which Sega always drops a ball on their endings. So I'm gonna say Worf. I think it's fun to
Two
play.
Worlds needed cutscenes.
That's the one. Yes. And that came out fucking 8 years after or some shit, or 5 years after. So they had plenty of fucking opportunity to throw cutscenes in there, and they didn't. But Billy Hatcher, they actually did.
Yeah.
They did a lot of good things with this game. It's just the bad things really overshadowed the good.
Yeah.
But I think it's still worth. It's not worth to buy. Do not buy it.
I was gonna say it's not. This game is a total nah for me. It is not worth buying.
Yeah.
Period.
Do not spend money on this game. Well, I mean, if you spend like $2, I guess $2 is $2. But Amazon, I've looked before. It's like $100 on Amazon.
I wouldn't pay more than $5 to play the first couple levels. Like, I would only do it if you're gonna emulate it, or if you know someone who owns it.
I mean, don't emulate games. We will never say emulations are bad.
It's the only way I could play this game.
Yeah.
I've never done an emulator before, actually.
Playing this game on the old GameCube controllers, which are not as crisp as the new Xbox controllers are. Like, fuck that.
Yeah, I've never had an emulator before that, and I'll probably delete it after this because I don't care about emulators.
Emulators are cool, though, because we can play a lot of cool games on there that you don't want to spend. Because everyone upcharges games now, and I know that Nintendo gets all bitchy about their emulators, but literally, they don't produce the games anymore, and the people selling it aren't Nintendo, so why the fuck do they care? Yeah. They're not making money either way, so fuck Nintendo. Fuck you, Nintendo, seriously. they get all pissy, like, literally, when I was doing emulations for the old Pokemon games, Nintendo had stopped making them. They're done. They're not made anymore.
Yeah.
And the people selling them are selling them for $600.
Yeah.
Not fucking worth it. And you're sitting there like, well, what am I going to do? And then you go emulate, and then they're like, this site has been taken down by Nintendo because in case of legal action. And Nintendo's fucking bullshit. They get people who like their games and will support their future games if they let people play like this, and then they don't because they're assholes. That's my little rant about Nintendo, so fuck them. Sega is super cool with emulators. This is why I like Sega so much. They are one of the coolest gaming companies in the world. They do shit games, but they are so fucking cool.
Yeah.
Like, they are a real gaming company. They are the coolest one out of any gaming company. I will support the fuck out of Sega because they are so fucking cool.
I kind of hate Sega.
Yeah, I know. Their games are bad, but they are literally the coolest. They have the most loose rules.
Rare is probably the coolest.
Rare was owned by Sega for a little while, and then Nintendo took it over.
I still like Rare.
Yeah. Well, I mean, like, sorry, by gaming company, I mean, like...
Oh, like the company itself.
Platform.
The company itself is I heard a great company,
yeah,
but they even just sold they sold all their arcades in China and Japan.
Yeah,
and I'm like, why do you sell all your arcades?
They're not doing great, Steve.
Well, no, the arcades are doing great in Japan.
No, I mean, like, their company is doing really poorly.
I know their company's not doing great.
They're really relying on Sonic 28, okay? And it's not working.
No, it's not.
So anyway, tell me why it's not. Sorry, I interrupted you.
No, you're good. So I think this game is fun for the concept. It's really fun if you find a really good person to watch play this. This game is hilarious to watch because of the reactions, because of the amount of bullshit in this game. So it can be fun, and a lot of the mechanics and stuff and the concept of the game is really interesting at the beginning. So if you want to test that out, play the beginning. But I would not spend any money on this game, period. And honestly, like, I can't ever see myself going back to this.
Yeah. I might go back and beat it. I might finish all the missions because I still have a few left.
I lifted up to my my chat on my channel. So on my last video I recorded for Billy Hatcher, I said, if you guys really want me to, if I get enough comments saying to finish this game, I will try.
You do that with every game.
I do. And I never get comments. I'm not popular.
Oh no.
But yeah, so that is that.
Yeah, so we got Worf and you make of that what you will. But that's it. That's Billy Hatcher and the Giant Egg.
And next week we are playing...
What are we playing?
Tony Hawk 1 and 2.
Oh yeah!
Tony Hawk Pro Skater.
He's going to play the remastered version and I'm going to play the original. We're going to see... I think it's probably pretty much the same. But still,
it's almost exactly identical.
Yeah,
I played the second one again before I played the remastered version of the second one. And everything's in the exact locations.
Yeah.
It's all the same exact levels.
Yeah.
It's just modernized. So
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
it's the exact
You
same
get to
game.
use your new controllers instead of me using. So I have this really sweet fucking. Because I'm gonna. Of course, I'm gonna fucking. I have a cool N64 controller that plugs into your computer, so I'm gonna use that.
But yes.
I love using the N64. You can't change your controller for N64 stuff because it's too fucking complicated with its bullshit like little buttons over here.
Yeah.
Like that is way too complicated.
I love the
Oh, and this
N64.
bullshit button down fucking
Z, man.
the Z fucking
The
bullshit.
trigger button.
They wanted to be so special. Nintendo, you are such a dickhole asshole company. Fuck off, Nintendo.
They always have a
Seriously.
gimmick on every one of the consoles.
Yeah,
they have a
they're
gimmick.
little-
It's either the controller or it's some
Oh,
other
but
gimmick.
you know what? Their Switch looks normal now, doesn't it? Right? Because they understand that people hate their fucking controllers because they're fucking dumbasses.
I don't mind the
They're
controllers
fucking
for the
horrible.
Switch.
Like everybody hated the Wii controllers,
I
the
like the
nunchucks, the nunchucks, and that's why they made.
Oh.
Oh, we also made a controller holder so you could play like a normal fucking human. Fucking shit company. I hate Nintendo. I hate them so much.
I think they make these fun controllers so
They-
they can sell the accessories to make them
because
look like
they're
real
because
controllers.
they're literally assholes. Microsoft does that and still has good products. So fuck you, Nintendo.
That's true,
you
and
dickhole-
Microsoft is way better. Microsoft's probably my
you
favorite
dickhole
company.
fucking shit company. Fuck right off.
Microsoft's my favorite.
Yeah, Microsoft is fun, but Sega's the best. So yeah, we'll play Tony Hawk next week. We appreciate all you guys listening. We really, this is really fun for us. We hope it's
Oh,
fun
yeah.
for you. Like, share, comment, anything really. It's cool with us. We're on every major platform: Stitcher, iTunes, Spotify,
Google Podcast.
Apple Podcast, Google Podcast.
Mhm.
Is that
Are we
Apple?
not? No, Google is a
No,
Microsoft.
we're not. We're not on there.
Oh,
I'll get us on there.
we should get on there.
Yeah, we'll get on there. So yeah, we're on all the major platforms. So just check us out. Tell your friends, whatever. And if you don't, that's fine too. You know, as long as you like the videos and are having fun with us, you know, we really appreciate all the listens that we get.
Tell us a segment you wanted to add to the show. Tell
Yeah.
us something you want us to do or game you want us to play,
Yeah.
and we'll do it.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, we love the suggestions because it makes it easier on us to pick.
Oh yeah.
Unless you're going to be an asshole about it, fuck you. And
Seriously.
eventually, we're going to play ET, and I'm excited for that. I'm so excited
And
to play ET.
I'm gonna just bitch the entire
There's no
time.
way it's as bad as Billy Hatcher was. There's no way.
It's worse.
There's no
It's
way.
way worse.
No. The dying mechanics, there's no way. There's no way you're going to fall through.
It's
like,
it's worse.
You haven't played it. You don't know.
I've watched it.
I don't care. Right?
It's
There's no way.
worse.
Until we play it, we don't know. All right, guys. This is Soul of a Gamer signing out.
Bye. Love you.
Love y'all.